Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Invictus Racing League. This is the F3 Equal League. Tonight, I am at the glorious race of the US of A for pre-season race 1. So, all good in the hood here. I am your host with the most, Malk. Like I said, tonight we've got some brand new drivers and existing drivers from last season stuff. So, I'm going to go give a bit of a rundown of the teams and the drivers for this season before we kick off. I will remind everyone I will not be doing the interviews at the end of this race because this is only the pre-season race, so there's no point in doing the pre-season questions as well. But hopefully the guys will be all prepped up and ready to go. I'm quite looking forward to it actually because some of the drivers who have been there, like Sir Spud, who's been there for many seasons, but now he's moved up to F2 and he's won the Drivers' Championship. Same with Colin J, who, like I said, last season he had the opportunity to win it, and he messed up on the last corner. So hopefully that doesn't compromise too much there. But hopefully the guys who have moved up to F2 will be doing fantastic as always, and Jamie Met and Craig as well. So I wish them all the very best. Against some of the drivers who have been here, and Mike, who's returning back into F3 territory. So I'm going to go through the drivers for the whole season. So in the Ferrari, you've got Mike and Fasconi. So that good pairing from them two. I remember they were in the Toro Rosso, I think it was 2 seasons ago, and they were doing really well. They proved me wrong because I wasn't sure whether Fasconi or Mike would get like a best qualifying finish, and they did. They done well. They even had a 1-2 at one point, and that was just immense stuff. So, can they capitalise on this season? We'll find out later on. Let's see if these guys can get a good start as well. McLaren team, you got F1 Richard and Ferocious Dan, 2 guys who did absolutely fantastic. Now, last season they were battling out with the Red Bull guys, so BW Clyde and Jamie Met. Sorry, I knew it was one of them. Yeah, BW Clyde and Jamie Met for the constructors' champion. Now, at the time, I wasn't sure what was going on. Now, I said at the stream originally that it was the McLaren that won it. Then people saying it's the Red Bull. After the countbacks, it was actually McLaren that actually won it, even though it was 114 each. But I think McLaren won it on countbacks. So McLaren did actually win the Constructors' Championship last season. So that was, I believe, that's a confirmed Constructors. So well done to F1 Richard and F Ferocious Dan. So these 2 drivers will be battling out to try and retain the Constructors, but can these 2 drivers battling out for the drivers as well? Like for the Drivers' Championship? We'll have to find out. I know Ferocious Dan was on good form, but F1 Richard, like I said, in his first ever few seasons he was struggling, but last season he was building confidence and he was gaining the top half easily. So hopefully that will capitalise on it as well. We've got some new, like I said, keeping on with the drivers. We've got Salbo, you've got Snoop Dogg Markey, and Agent Steel B66, Agent Steel 66 with a clear to click. In the Williams, as I'm seeing right now, you got Captain Stiff and the old guard of Tejua. Unfortunately, he's not racing tonight. So I believe there's 5 drivers missing tonight. So I believe there was 5 drivers missing. So we'll wait and see what Captain Stiff does on the soft tyres, but I'll keep going through while we're waiting for the times to come in as well. So the Renault, you got Bougie. Don't blame it on the Bougie. Oh, Bougie. Coca-Cola. So Bougie will be racing in the Renault team. He was in the Force India last season, so he did well, keeping it consistent as well. But I think what would have happened if he came at the start of the season, it would have been a different story, I think, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But watching it from everyone's point of view, and I think I'm still watching Captain Stiff, but I think Willow's just gone past Captain Stiff, who's on the the quickest well, second quickest of tyres. We've got yellow flags for sectors 1 and 2 so far. So, in the Haas car, as I said, the Willow 97, a newcomer in the Invictus Racing League F3 League, and White Eagle. So, again, two new drivers. Bougie has done the fastest lap with a 1:32.6 on the Ultra Softs. That's the marker to get the starting stuff line up as well. So, still watching, still listening. There, I can't say. In the Mercedes, you got Saab, who's not available here tonight, and Billy McLeod is not in tonight as well. So the two Mercedes will be thinking, hopefully I don't want to take another break in before the season starts, because they need to get some practicing against some of the drivers in as well. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But could be interesting. In the Force India, you got O'Stephen and Notorious. Now, O'Stephen, I did feel sorry for him last season. He was really struggling. I'm hoping he will capitalise on getting some good, decent points in this season. But again, it depends on how he can capitalise on his driving as well, and if he can keep that momentum going. We've got yellow flags in sector 3 now. So, still watching Captain Stiff doing his lapping at the minute on the soft tyre, but some of the times have come in now. So 1:33.1 from the current constructors champion of the McLaren of Ferocious Dan. O'Stephen did a 1:36.6 on the softs. White Eagle's done a 1:57 on the ultras, which I think he's going to have to do it again anyway, because that's really, really slow. Yeah, like I said, fortunately, there's O'Stephen and Notorious. He's had a really unlucky season last season, so hopefully he will try and bounce back. I know, like I said, he's a good driver. He was a former F2 champion, F2, F3. He was a former champion at Invictus. I want to see him bounce back. It doesn't matter if you drop down a division, it's going to be very tough whatever happens. So Captain Stiff does a 1:34.8 on the soft, so well done to him on the soft tire. That's a good time, to be fair. F1 Richard, the other McLaren winning constructor champion, he's on the soft tire at the minute. He's got ahead of he's got a Toro Rosso ahead, which I believe is De Boydan. Boydan? Or Boydan, whatever you call it, De Boydan. Another newcomer as well, which I'll come to him in a minute. Red Bull, you got Brennons and Nigel Gash. Again, same with the McLaren team. The two Red Bulls, they are not there tonight, so hopefully they will return back in the Hungarian Grand Prix next week to try at least get some practice in before the actual season comes in, because if you don't, you will lose out big time. And the Toro Rosso, you got Manuel Jono and De Boyden. So, there was a bit of a lag there. So yeah, it was right. De Boyden doing his lapping now. He'll probably do his lapping now. But what does F1 Richard do on the soft tyre? He's done a 1:35.2, 4/10 slower than Captain Stiff's with a 34.8. So needs to get pumped up into that point there. But De Boyden is doing his lapping now. But what does Fasconi do now? Is he doing his lap? He's going to do his lapping now. But I'm going to watch De Boyden now. A newcomer into Invictus Racing League, the F3 League. So, I mean, I don't know his pace. So, I do apologise, mate, if you're watching this after. But yeah, looking at it now, hopefully De Boyden will try and get some... depending on what time he can do at the USA, it'll be good to see what he can capitalise on. Because, he's not doing his lapping. I think he must have made a mistake. Fasconi's not on the quicker ERS. Steele, Agent WD66 with a clear to click. He's done a 1:35.3, but that was in the ultra soft, so that he needs to get a good time better off on that one. F1 Richard will probably go back in unless he's doing another lapping on the softs. Again, watching from the Performance League last night, there was some great first stints. But as soon as the pits come in, that's when the struggle happens, because you're not sure whether you're going to get some much action going on. But it's a good track, USA. It's a very good track. And I'll talk about the track in more detail Um, in the USA, track, there is, I believe, 28, 29 laps. I think it was 28 laps. I think, yeah, it was 28 laps of the 50% race last night. It is at 3.4 exact miles with a 5.472 kilometres. It has got 20 corners, so some of them, well, I don't know all the corner names because they don't mention it on here, but hopefully that will capitalise on it. Has anyone made any good improvements? Stephen did a 136 flat. Fasco's done a 136.5. He needs to improve. Y Eagle, he's going to do his second lap in now. De Boyden is doing his lap in now, so I think his first stint in the softs. Ooh. Yeah, so I'm just the tyres that you see on the left hand side on the screen, they're all the fitted tyres at the moment, but I will put, well, the fitted tyres now, but I'm still putting it as the best. Oh, hopefully it doesn't kick. So De Boyden, I can't pronounce it quick on that one, so I'm going to say Dan 22 is going to try to get into that long right-hander now, which I believe is the 16th, 17th, and then 18th corner, coming up to the 19th corner, the blind spot corner. This is the trickiest one now. And then he's coming up to the turn 20 now. Oh, he's got wide. I think that might be validated. Oh no, he's done a 36.3 on the soft tyres. However, he's done 2 laps on the softs. 2 laps on the softs, so hopefully that doesn't compromise too much there. Notorious. Is he doing his proper lapping, or is he going to do it? So a 25.9 around there, so this could be the one for him, but look at it now. F1 registered a 35.2, Steele's done a 135.3 on the Ultras, but that's, again, like I said, it's 3 seconds, nearly, well, just under 3 seconds, 2.7 to be precise, of the leader who's on the Ultrasofts, with 32.6. I can't blame it on the bougie now, because I always take the mick of it. It's like, don't blame it on him. So hopefully that doesn't compromise too much there. But Notorious, he's going to try and build up his lapping. Willow's still a newcomer into the Invictus Racing League. So again, he's trying his hardest on the Ultrasofts at the moment now. Mike is the only one who hasn't done a lapping. He didn't do a lap yesterday in the Performance League 1. But also, I like to say this now, but also it's good to see him back racing, because I do miss Mike on the racing track. So he did say before the race tonight, he said he felt more confident with the driving than he did last season when he did the no assist stuff as well. So that's a good sign, but it needs to, from the talking, needs to get onto the track as well to make it work. And I do believe him, and it'll be good to see him win races this season. But it's going to be very tough, because you've got some good drivers here. You've got Ferocious Dan, Bougie on their day can be really good. Captain Stiff might be a good one to shout, because he's on the softs with a 34.8 in third place, depending on what Willow does. Oh, brilliant! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant! With a 132.1 from the Willow, 97. Brilliant stuff. Oh, absolutely brilliant. I have watched him on the test drives, the test sessions as well. And yeah, he was really unlucky with some of the races that he's been in, but he's been really good when he does it consistently as well. So, like I said, this is his first ever race for Invictus, and it should be fantastic stuff for him to do that. But what a lap from him. So that might be a good advantage there. But can anyone get into the 31s? Based on Willow's time? Might be wrong, but we've got yellow flag on sector 1 now. I think that might be Bougie, who's just coming out to let one of the guys through. I think that was F1 Richard. O'Stephen. O'Stephen's 2/10 quicker. He is on the super soft tyre, so he's trying to avoid the ultra softs as much as possible. So, again, I really want O'Stephen to get some decent points. I really want him to get at least a top half finish this season. I really would love to see that happening. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Got the full grid of 20 drivers. Oh, O'Stephen's gone back into the pits. Teaser. Absolute teaser there. YT Eco, I don't think he will improve on his soft tyre at the moment. F1 Richard doing his lapping. Yeah, I'm going to watch someone slowing down in sector 3. I think that might be Steele. F1 Richard doing his lapping now, which, yeah, he's on the super soft tyre at the moment. These are like the best tyres, best times on the best tyres at the minute. So what can F1 Richard do? He needs to get to under 35s, and he does it with a 133.8 on the super soft tyre. So that's a good lap from him. Will he be able to do it again on the ultras? Will he go for it, or will he let Ferocious Dan take the opportunity there? But what a lap from him. I'm going to watch Steele. Steele, he did a 35.3 on the ultras, but he's on the soft tyre at the moment, so he needs something to get. If he wants to get a good time, he needs to get to the 35s, or better still, try and match Captain Stiff's soft tyre. He's impressing me, Captain Stiff, to be fair. The last few seasons, same with F1 Richard, they all they started off struggling. But then as the races go by, as the seasons go by at Invictus, they have improved left, right, and beeping centre. Oh yes. You might get some pauses during the streams, because my voice may go at any point. Hopefully not, but hopefully it'll be okay and stuff. But still watching Steele doing his lapping time now. We're coming up to the 2-minute marker now. So 2-minute marker for Agent Steele with a clear declick, 66. Oh, he lost the back end of this car for the soft tyre. Hopefully that doesn't compromise his time too much there, but hopefully it'll be alright there. But you never know. You never know until the fat lady sings on that one. Oh no! Oh, he's lost the car. That might be the SQ if he watches it. That was so lucky from him. Absolutely lucky from him. Just watching. So, F1 Richard has retired. We're going yellow flag, green. Oh, Stephen doing his lapping. Oh, he's a little bit less time from the soft tyre. Coming up to the 1-minute marker of the Invictus Racing League. F3 League. So, this will be absolutely amazing stuff. This is Season 2 of the F1 2018 game. This will be Season 7. Season 7. Unbelievable. From everyone there. D-Boy Dan, it's gone 5th with a 34.6. Will he go and do another one to try and improve his time to get into the top 4 at least? But here we go. You know where it's coming. Time is up. Time is up at the Invictus Racing League. Good evening to everyone that's joined. If you have commented, sorry, I haven't got the chat up. Sorry guys. If you just commented the last 3 times, I'm sorry. Can you please repeat it again? Hopefully you will join us tonight. Like I said, the chat thing it's not up, so that's why I've got it. I've got the phone up ready to go, so still waiting for some of the drivers in. Deboydan's trying to improve his lapping now. He's gone wide there, so I think that might compromise a bit of his time. He's moved up to fourth. He's moved up to fourth. I was thinking, would F1 Richard be really gutted with that? But got Captain Stiff. Frostan has retired from the session, so Captain Stiff is on the, which I believe, Super Softs. Super Softs with a 133.6. A 133.6. So, Notorious got back into the bits. What does Y Eagle do? Y Eagle does a 135.6 on the Ultras. Notorious has retired from the session. So yes, this is quite interesting stuff here, guys. Absolutely insane stuff here. And I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it as well. So... And here are your short qualifying classification for the Invictus Racing League F3 League. You have got the Willow on its debut race season in first place. You've got Bougie in second, Ferocious in third, Deboydan, a debut race, on fourth place. You've got Captain Stiff in fifth, F1 Richards in sixth, Stevens in seventh, Steele B is in eighth, Vasco is in ninth, White Equals in 10th. Notorious and Mike are the only ones who have not done a lapping. And I'll be right back. So yeah, good. Welcome back, guys. Good evening to Rick. Yeah, nice little countdown there. If you don't hear it before, it's a great opportunity here. But Vasconi has pressed start, so normally it's the admins would press start to confirm it. So the guys probably didn't have much time in getting their car set up. Hopefully that it doesn't compromise too much there, but some of the guys there are trying to get themselves prepped up and ready to go. But it would be quite interesting to see what tyre strategy would be for Notorious and for Mike, considering what the guys are on the Ultras and the Super Softs. Y Eagles on the soft tyre, so he might have an opportunity here if he can get a few people ahead. Mike was disqualified from the session, same with Fasconi. Not sure what's happened there. So, you got the Willow on his debut race, as I said. He's in first place. Boogie's in second. Could be a ding-dong battle between these two, to be fair. And Ferocious Dan, so there'll be a good battle if we can see that, not just for this race, but for the whole season. It will be good entertainment stuff, to be fair. Deboydan is in fourth on his debut race as well. Captain Stiff's in fifth. F1 Richards in sixth. Stevens in seventh. Steele is in eighth. Vasconi, the Flying Irishman, is in ninth. White Eagle on his debut race, or debut season race as well, is in 10th place with the softs. Notorious is in 11th, just out of the top 10, and Mike is in 12th place. However, Mike is in the soft tyre, Notorious is on the super soft, so it'll be quite interesting to see what these two can capitalise on. But I'm quite interested to see what Eagle can do. I'm interested to see what White Eagle would do. If he can try and get past Vasconi Steele and maybe O'Steven, which I believe that's his good qualifying lap so far. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get a good start here. But I think the drivers who are on the old softs will be having a nightmare because they'll probably have to do a two-stop here. They might have to do a two-stop here. But just have to wait and see what happens here. But looking at it, guys, I can't wait for this season. and I know you can. As I said, good evening to Rick, who's joined me tonight. Good evening to everyone that's joined. If you've got any comments, share your views, would be fantastic. I'll try and get them on as quickly as possible. So yeah, just watching for the guys to get themselves prepped up. We've got 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and we are go, go, go! Good start from Booty! Good start from Booty! What a... Oh my god. Steele. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no. Oh no! Captain Stiff. What actually happened? It looked like a Toro Rosso went into Captain Stiff. I don't know, I might be wrong here, but De Boyden, I might be wrong. There was a bit of a contact between, well, Steele's car was just jumping like God knows what, but again, I don't know what's going to happen here, but that was a shocking start, and I will say this, I will be honest with that one, but like I said, luckily this is pre-season, but hopefully that doesn't compromise too much there. But yeah, if you bear with me a sec, guys, I'm going to try and get Captain Stiff in. So, sorry about that, guys, bear with me. I'll try to invite Captain Stiff into the, what hopefully might tell us. Can I say good evening to Captain Stiff? You alright, mate? How you doing?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the early join, but it's good to see you in the commentary box now, under unfortunate circumstances, of course.
Yeah, I just saw your comment, mate, and I'll try and get you in as quickly as possible without missing too much action going on. But I noticed there was a few... I will say this now, there was a bit of a shock at the start, at the corner. There was a bit of a lag between Steele as well, so hopefully that doesn't compromise too much. Rick says F1 Rich is aggressive tonight. I hope they won't have too much desync. Monday was crazy. But yeah, there was a bit of a massive desync issue there. Without saying too much here, Captain, what actually happened? Because I saw a glimpse of, I think it was a Toro Rosso, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, so by the looks of the start of it, everyone got a clean getaway, but unfortunately it looked like Steel BL lagged out big time and wiped out, I believe it was either Dan or Booch at turn 1, and then unfortunately into turn 2 I just got sideswiped by D-Boy Dan. Maybe didn't realise I was there due to first race nerves, but obviously we'll have to find out from his perspective after the race. But you know, it's pre-season 1, so hopefully we can get these mistakes out of the way for the guys. So yeah, it's not great to go out on turn 3 of the first pre-season race, but you know, we'll put that behind us and we'll move on to next week.
Definitely. Willow's done a fastest lap of 1:36.5. I mean, looking at it from your point of view, Captain, I know I'm not going to say what's your expectations after tonight's race, but what's your expectations for this season in as a whole? What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's, or just checking in with White Eagle there, he's almost hit the wall on the pit entry there, so really decent escape there for White Eagle. F3 looks like it can go any way this season. There's definitely at least one of 8 people that can definitely make a challenge for the title. So I could not put any money on anyone just yet. So yeah, for myself, you know, a couple of podiums would be nice, and getting towards that 50-point mark. But you know, like I said, there's so many decent drivers in here and talented guys, whether experienced and non-experienced. As fast going, tries to go down the inside of Stephen into turn 11 there, but unfortunately can't get it done. He's going to try and tighten up behind him. He's going to have DRS down the back straight, but it looks like he's lost a little bit of time, so possibly won't be able to get the move just done.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I hope this is like the bad luck get out of the way and stuff from tonight. But I wish you, like I said, I wish you all the very best whatever happens this season, because I've said this at the start, and you've got yellow flags for sector 3. I'm not sure what's happened, but I will be on. Oh, Willow's dropped down from first to third, so something must have. Oh, he's went off turn 18.
Willow's there. He's gone wide. He's lost it on the exit of turns, as you say, turn 16, turn 17 there, and he was out on the stars. And then he's coming in for a new nose cone. You can see he's lost his front right end plate there, so it's an early stop for the pole sitter after setting a very good time on his debut on the ultra soft tyres.
Yeah, very, very interesting stuff. But Basconi is closing in on O'Stephen now for the first corner, the blind first corner. What can these two do? Oh, O'Stephen's holding on. What a hold there! I was going to say move, but he held it there for 6th. And I was saying about your comment there, you said like change Chan. I thought you were talking about Jackie Chan there on that one, Captain Stiff, Jackie Chan on that one. So, but yeah, Fasconi's trying everything he can to get past O'Stephen. But like I said earlier on in the stream, mate, I did say I was impressed with your driving last season, and I hope you keep that standard, keep it up basically. But don't ever give up with the Rick Anstey stuff from the other league stuff anyway. So, but like I said, you have improved a hell of a lot, to be fair. And oh, what can Fasconi do? Can he get past O'Stephen? Chance for the Ferrari driver. Oh, side by side. O'Stephen. Oh my God, brilliant. Oh, there was a little bit of contact there between them two, but Fasconi's done the move there. What a move! Yeah.
Superb battle there, and equally up for first and second at the moment. Bougie 89 and Ferocious Dan battling out over the last lap and a half over first and second places, and looks like that Renault's going to try and go to the inside and cover it off, but the McLaren's going to try and go around the outside of turn 1. It'd be an absolutely superb move if Dan can get it covered off. He's going to have the inside for turn 2 here. They're going to go side by side down into turn 3, which is very dangerous indeed. Who's going to get there first? It is Dan, who cuts the corner. That's going to unbalance him for the Saunders, and there you see Bougie goes back around the outside. You never see that overtake that much. That's a very brave move there from the Renault to go around the outside, but Dan was slightly unstable after running over the corners. Bougie retakes the lead, but two of them still neck and neck. But look who's coming up behind them. It's F1 Richard. He's going to start interjecting himself in this party of 2. It's going to start becoming a 3.
Oh, brilliant stuff there, Captain. That's why you're a top-notch commentator, mate. That's what I like with that one. Steele, as you watched that, Steele overtook O'Stephen on the first corner. It was like a brilliant move there, but now they're doing everything possible. But Bougie's dropped down to second. Oh my God! So we might have a 2 in a bed. 2. Yes. Oh, go on, Bougie! Don't blame it on yourself here. Oh my God! Oh, a little bit of contact there. Bougie's having a McLaren sandwich here. Absolutely insane stuff here, Captain.
Bougie dropping down from first to second, and McLaren's moved back up into first, and F1 Richard now 0.3 of a second behind the Renault, and the McLaren's doing what they did so well last season, and they're starting already to assert their dominance. So you can see that these two definitely stating their intent of being possible Constructors' champions for the 2nd season in a row, of course taking it on countback at the end of last season. But Bougie and Dan now starting to come under threat from F1 Richard 67. He's yet to take a victory in F1, unfortunately, having taken it off him in Germany. So F1 Richard will really see an opportunity of getting his first F3 win here in the USA.
Do you think it's going to happen in the actual season, Captain? Do you think he could do it?
I definitely think Richard is one of the guys that is well up there. He's improved hugely over the last 2 seasons in Invictus, and putting himself well up into the conversation of the title last season, only missing out in the last few races. So, yeah, F1 Richard definitely one of the main contenders for the F3 title this season.
Okay. This is going to be interesting stuff, because I'm quite looking forward to F3, to be fair, mate. I really am looking forward to it, because you don't know what to expect from there. But oh my God, Ferocious Dan and Bougie! What a move! Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant stuff from Bougie. Oh my God! Oh, absolutely insane stuff.
This is where it becomes interesting because look at the tyre compounds that are being used here. So you've got the McLaren of Ferocious Dan. He's done 6 laps on those ultra soft tyres that he qualified on. He's got his teammate sitting directly behind him, but he's on the super soft tyres. So the tyre advantage is with F1 Richard. So do the two McLarens swap over and allow F1 Richard to use the extra pace that he'll have on these super soft tyres to attack Bougie, or is it just a case of Dan trying to use all of these life out of the ultra soft tyres and saying, Richard, you know what, wait your turn and wait until I come into the pit stops?
Yeah, I think it depends, mate, to be honest, because what would you say the tyre wear, would you say, in USA, personally?
It's all depending on setup here for these guys. The section that they're in right now can really scrub those tyres if you've got a particularly stiff setup on the car. So it's all on how these guys on the ultras are really looking after the tyres. So Dan has been involved in quite a bit of a battle with the top, or with Booge, and with now with Richard. He's going to look to go down the inside at turn 11. He got a much better launch down the exit at turn 11, down the inside here, and believe he might even have DRS as well, as Richard's going to go for second position as well. We're going to go two wide down the back straight into turn 1, and there it is. The McLaren is going to go back down. He's going to get drag on his teammate going down into turn 12 as well, so Richard might make his way up from third into first in one corner. There you go, straight into the lead. Is he going to go deep? He doesn't, and there you go. F1 Richard from third to first in 0.8 or 0.8 of a mile strip of road.
Oh my god, I'll tell you what, mate, I've never seen two moves like that for a while now, but that is a one. I tell you what, F1 Richard, he could be the one to watch this season as well, like you said. Yeah, can't wait. Again, last night in the Performance League 1, regarding the tyre wear strategy stuff, like I said, the ultras would have been gone by lap 7 or 8. So they're at that point now where the tyres are absolutely going to be killing now. With the super softs, they're probably like lap 12, 13 if you're lucky, and then 16 to 18 laps. But the soft tyres were like gone after like 13, 14 laps. So
yeah, I think I managed to stretch the softs out, and they were brand new for 17 laps. So the guys that started on the softs, so that'll be Mike sitting there. He's on the brand new softs, so he should be able to stretch those out to around lap 15 and possibly go onto a set of super softs. We saw Fascone last night try and do the soft to ultra soft run, and that did hamper him at the end of his soft compound stint. He really did start to struggle with those tyres that were well past their sell-by date. But you can see F1 Richard now, he's really stretched that lead out to 1.8, almost 1.9 seconds now. So using that slightly softer compounded tyre, the red-walled super softs, he's really starting to gain an advantage over the guys that, like you say, will starting to be struggling on those purple-walled ultra-soft tyres.
Yeah, I can see from Bougie's car point of view, you can see like two lines across on both front and the back tyres, so you know that it's crucial times now, to be fair, when you look at it.
Absolutely, and I think this is where it's going to be interesting between Bougie and Ferocious Dan, both having started on those ultras. Who comes in first? Who goes for the undercut? Does Bougie drop in this lap and try and get an undercut on the McLaren? No, both stay out another lap. So obviously both trying to stretch these tyres out as much as possible. They've got a huge gap back to D by Dan in 4th position at the moment. They've got over 7.5 seconds. So these three really starting to stretch a lead out quite impressively over the first 9 laps. And then behind that you've got D-Boy Dan. He's leading the 2 Ferraris of Mike and Fascone. So the 2 teammates in the Ferrari team this season sitting there at the moment in 5th and 6th, having started towards the back. So great start for them. Steel BL obviously had that lag issue at the start, but he's currently sitting in 7th position, and unfortunately for the Willow, had to come in after that early spin. He's down in 8th, dropping all the way down from 1st.
Hopefully he'll try and bounce back there, captain. Hopefully he'll try and bounce back. But looking at it from that point of view, to be fair, looking at it, if Ferocious Dan and Bougie, or both of them pit, they would drop down to where Willow is, possibly. So might have a ding-dong battle between those 3 drivers, I think, from 8th on, like from the 8th place onwards, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen guys in the on Monday night. Speed Queen, she was doing very nicely, and she dropped back and she got caught in traffic, and it took her right up until the end of the race to start getting herself imposed towards the front where she'd been when she first came in. So you don't want to drop yourself into traffic, especially these guys that are out there running on a soft compound tyre where they will still have life on it, and they'll be slower into corners compared to these guys that will. Imagine trying to stretch these out. The ultra soft runners, it'll be interesting to see if they do go for a long stint on the softs, or as you see, Bougie going to dive into the pit lane, so he's going to follow the McLaren. So it's a battle of the pit mechanics. Who's got the quicker hands, putting those new boots onto the sides of those cars?
Definitely. Mike, who started in 12th, moves up to 5th. May go up to 3rd here. Yeah, he goes up to 3rd. 9 laps of the softs already. He probably have another 9 laps to probably 9 to 11 laps. Might be. I might push it here. Well, 7 to 9 laps. That's better. 7 to 9 laps of the softs to last. But it depends on how these guys can capitalise. We've got the 2 Ferraris in the top 4 now. F4 is pulling away from the Boydan as much as possible. We've got quite a few penalties which I didn't mention during the stream and stuff, but if you commented, guys, please make sure you comment again, because obviously I haven't got the chat thing up. I'll try and comment as quickly as possible, but also we're not racing in F3 tonight as well. We've got the F2 and also the F1 leagues as well on the Wednesday nights on the Equal League, so they'll be all commentating and racing at the same time as well. But not only that, we've got the realistic performance on the Tuesday nights, and we've got the no assist stuff on the Monday nights. So, and come and visit us, come and watch us, and you know, give you some great action of the Invictus Racing Leagues. Good battles left, right, and centre. Don't you agree?
Absolutely, it's been a pleasure to be part of the leagues on the Tuesday night and commentating on the Monday night. It's definitely some of the best action you find anywhere on PS4 esports. Yeah, come and see us at invictusracingleagues.com, where you can sign up and get yourself on the grid, ready for the season. Of course, we're always open to getting new members on the grid in the leagues and in the community.
Oh, definitely. The last few laps have been a bit died a bit, shall we say, but hopefully we might see some battles coming up soon. Like I said, Bougie and Frostan have gone ahead of the Willow, so they're in 5th.
Yeah, luckily they managed to jump him. They didn't get caught behind him when they came for their stops. Bougie actually got held in the pit lane, so the lollipop came up, but he didn't leave his pit stall for maybe just under or just over half a second, and that really hampered him, because Ferocious Dan was able to get a slightly better launch out of the pit lane, so possibly slow reactions for the Renault driver leaving the pit stall there. It meant that he's lost a little bit of time to Bougie, as they were almost neck and neck coming in, and obviously now you can see there's a little bit of a gap between them. So Bougie struggling a little bit on these new tyres compared to Dan, who seems to have got those soft tyres up to speed and got into a much better comfort zone compared to the Renault.
Oh, definitely. We've got a little bit of a battle going on. Captain with 9th and 10th with O'Stephen and Steele. Hopefully Steele will try and get past O'Stephen as quickly as possible. O'Stephen's on 5 laps of softs compared to Steele's, 1 lap of the Fasconi's dropped down.
Fasconi's wide at turn 14 and 15 there. Looks like he lost it on the exit of turn 15. They ran out onto the grass, and he's was running across the stars and stripes on the around the outside of turn 16 and 17. So Fasconi dropping down. Really unfortunate for the Irish driver. He's going to pull to the inside, and Du Bois Dan has left the session. So Dan leaving the session in the pit lane. So possibly an external fault there for the Toro Rosso team on his debut. So not the best outing for Du Bois Dan 22 on his first race for Invictus Racing League.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one, to be fair, for Du Bois Dan. Because he was doing a good race, to be fair, from what I've seen anyway. But anything could have happened. It could have been something, we don't know. But Fasconi's the closest to the Willow for 5th place. Do a rundown of the drivers so far, coming up to the halfway marker in a minute. We've got F1 Richards in first, Mike's in second, Ferocious Dan is in third, Bougie is in fourth, the Willow is in fifth, Vasconi is in sixth. The boy Dan did leave the session, so he was in seventh. Notorious is in eighth, Steele is in ninth, Stevens in 10th, White equals 11th, and yourself is in the commentary box after an early turn 3, shall we say, captain. So,
a quick run from turn 3 up to the commentary box.
Yeah, that you were like, Mark, you got the co-commentary? That's it. So yeah, go on then. It gives me more drink breaks, to be honest. It kills you after the throw, doesn't it? After you do with the commentary stuff, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And with the non-stop action we've seen, especially in the first 3 races so far this week in No Assist and Performance 1 and 2, you definitely need some time. It was always great to have Sab alongside me on Monday night with his commentary debut, and he did an absolutely fantastic job. So hopefully we'll be seeing more Sab in the commentary box on Monday nights, as Fascone still sitting within that 1 second window of the Willow in front of him. The Willow out on 9 lap-old Supersofts, having made that early stop from the new front wing. Fascone obviously had that slight excursion across the grass a few laps ago, dropping down, but Mike now leading the race at the moment on those 12 lap-old softs, but with Ferocious Dan not far behind, and equally F1 Richard, who's come in and made that stop. So Richard doing an absolutely superb job to drop himself between Ferocious Dan and Bougie, so he's done really nicely to get himself ahead of the Renault, so he does not have to overtake Bouge, and Bouge does not make it easy to get past either. So F1 Richard doing very nicely to drop himself back into third. Looks like F1 Richard at the moment is in prime position to take the win if the 2 McLaren boys can source out who's going to take the lead.
I don't know what to say. What would you do if you and your, I think you Tej, aren't you, this season?
I am indeed.
If you was in that position tonight, what would you do? Would you go for the win, or would you just hold back and see what happens?
It's very tricky at this early stage in the race. Obviously, with 15 laps left to go, anything could happen. We've seen late instance, of course, Colin J crashing with 7 corners left to go that lost him the title on the last lap of the race of the last Grand Prix of the season last season in F3. So you can never say never, but I feel with Tom and I, it's always comes down to a tactical decision. We find out who's got the best pace for that race, and equally, can we use each other when it comes to giving each other a tow and get ourselves away from the competition. F1 Richard leaves the session, so possibly a decent a disconnection there for Richard, and that will be devastating for him. We'll have to see if he can rejoin, but that's given a free position back to Bouge.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen F1 Richard take the advantage here, but yeah, I don't know. Unless he could get back in. If not, then Bougie just said, well, thank you very much, I'll have the opportunity to take the advantage here, but still, what do you do? He'll be absolutely livid if that happened during the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things, of course, you have no control over it whatsoever, but it's absolutely devastating when it does happen. It happened a few times to myself in performance last year, and you really do feel like you've put so much effort into something, and then obviously that happens and it can really get your spirits down. But I think Richard, if he doesn't manage to rejoin the session, he will know that he's definitely shown the pace so far in the race to be a front runner and a contender, especially for Hungary next week and moving on into the full calendar the week after that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll, definitely, mate. Hopefully we'll. But Bougie is closing in on Mike, who's on 14 laps of the soft tyre. He hasn't pitted yet. Stops. Mike's the only one who's not pitted yet. But Bougie's right at the back of him now. Right at the back of him.
And this is where you don't want to get caught behind someone, especially if they're on much older tyres, because they'll be slipping and sliding all over the track and being very cautious through this corner. And Bouge on those newer tyres he'll be like, come on, get a move on, we can keep going a bit faster than this. But Mike will be pushing as hard as he can, but Bouge is going to have to just patiently sit behind him, get that DRS as he has done. He's going to the inside, he's going to try and line up Mike. Is he going to go side by side down the back straight towards turn 12? He is, so he's not even going to try and use the toe of the Ferrari. He's going to just use that DRS and that Renault power just to pull past him. He pulls to the inside and he's covered him off. Mike's unlikely going to come back in, obviously knowing that he's got much older tyres than these two at the front. There's no point battling them. It will just hamper your own race if you get involved in a battle that's not really yours. So Mike doing a sensible thing, just let him boost through, and you can see he's already stretched that 1.2 second lead already.
Yeah, hopefully he'll try and capitalise on it, but we're going in the crash stand like 3 second time penalty for warning, so depending on Bougi's penalties, that could be compromised here. Mike's pitted. Yeah, Mike's pitted. Willow's moved up to 7th now. Mike would be going on to, which I should believe is the super soft tyre, so he might do the one stop here. Depending on where he's going to be dropped, I think he'll probably drop down to 5th. May not be 6th, but yeah, just see how it goes now. Pascali went past the Boyden. Now Mike's, yeah, Notorious has moved up to 4th on the older soft tyres, and he did pit really early as well on lap 2. Must have been what happened from the first incident and stuff. But I'll tell you what, who's your driver of this? Like, who's going to be your one? Or who's going to be your main rivals for this season, Captain?
It's tricky to look over the grid because there's, like I said, there's so many talented drivers in there this season that can definitely make a challenge for the title. But you look at drivers on the courses, we are missing several tonight. They're not here. Of course, Tom, or Tejua to everyone, he's an incredibly quick driver on his day. He finds it's slightly inconsistent. He does get involved in incidents that are very unfortunate. So if he can obviously stay clean, he will obviously put himself well up with a shout of being in a title. Equally, we've got race winners in Brennon's. He's always been up there when he's on form. It started last season in absolutely electric form and finished it with a pretty decent result too. But other drivers around, such Bougie, will be strong. You can see F1 Richard and Dan, both the McLarens, will be very, very strong this season. But don't count out people like Sab or BWA Clyde. Both of them have been on the podiums, and Sab's a race winner in the Performance League. So there's a lot of drivers here that have got the pace to be running at the front. So it could really go down to the wire at the end of the season between a number of drivers.
Yeah, it could be. You just never know what to expect with that one, to be fair. But again, it's a tough question because, like you said, you just don't know what to expect with the drivers and stuff. And some of the drivers who are not racing tonight and may return next week in the last pre-season race before the actual season starts. So anything could happen. Anything could happen tonight. Well, anything could happen during the season. But I'm quite impressed with Ferocious Dan. I'm quite impressed with Bougie, and quite impressed with F1 Richard as well. And on your day as well, Captain, you could be a threat to the top 3, definitely, on your day.
Yeah, it's all about consistency at tracks and just getting the right setup. And there's definitely tracks I feel I'd be stronger at, and there's definitely tracks I feel I'd be weaker at. So it's getting points at the tracks that you're weaker at that's the real crucial thing here. It's picking up points where you don't think you would. So I think that's the aim, is to pick up some pretty solid points consistently through the season, not to help just the drivers but also the Constructors' Championships. Obviously Tom and I will be looking at going and bringing the Constructors' title back to Grove for the Williams team. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the season pans out, and we will definitely see after round 1 in Spain just what the lay of the land is, and see who the main title contenders are.
Yeah, it should be interesting stuff here. But oh my god, we've got a couple of battles here. Oh, Steele just holding on for 5th here, Captain. But Willow's trying everything he can to get past Steele for 5th. But Notorious is holding on for 4th on 16 laps. 16 laps of the softs. How long does he need to get back into the pits? He needs to get back in as quickly as possible if he wants to try and challenge for at least the top 4. But Steele did have a 3-second time penalty earlier during that stint there. But Notorious will be absolutely struggling there. Steele's going to be struggling. Willow, no.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Captain.
No, just saying, yeah, the Willow having a look around the outside of Steel there. That would have been an incredibly brave move there for the debutant driver. But what it is doing is allowing Mike back in. And I forgot to say, during, obviously, when we talk about title contenders, do not count out the two Ferrari boys and Mike and Fascone. Both absolutely fantastic drivers on their day. Both race winners. These two will very much smell blood in the water. And they see the battling going up ahead. And Notorious look like he's holding the guys up on those older tyres as Steele and him fight over 4th and 5th position at the moment. Looks like Steele's got the move done, but Notorious isn't going to give up. But he has been out there on those 16 laps, possibly looking at the one-stop, moving on to the ultra-soft tyres. So, very deep for Notorious there. But does he come in and set the ultra-softs, and he will be absolutely rapid at the end of this race?
Yeah, but I would go in now. He's gone. His tyres are gone. Where's Mike? Oh, where's the car? He's got to go in. No, he's staying out. Notorious is staying out. Bucci's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that's not good. Not good.
The Willow shaping up. Steele into turn 1. He's going to go for a lunge down the inside. The two almost come into contact. Not quite. The Haas just about staying out from the rear right of the, or the rear left, sorry, of that Sauber car in front. But the Willow's going to be tucked in right behind the Sauber as we go through the complex of turn 3 to turn 10. Of course, it's one of the worst places. Steele picks up that 3-second time penalty. You see side by side for Mike and Notorious through turn 4 and 5, 6 and 7 there. Really quite impressive from those two. Nice, clean driving between the two. Obviously, very experienced drivers. The Willow's still sitting behind the Sauber. He's going to look to the inside, possibly down into turn 11. It looks like he's got the move done, and it looks like he may have DRS assistance down the back straight. So the Willow, superb recovery so far, back up into 4th position.
Yeah, just that. But Willow still, even with the DRS, Steele's trying everything he can. Might be late braking. Oh my God. What's going on? 2 in a bed. 2 in a bed. Oh, you beauties. Look at this. Look at this. 2 of them side by side.
That does the Willow go for the undercut here. He's going to try and go for the cutback and go around the outside at turn 15, 16 and 17 through turn 18. It's not quite. It's very hard to hold it out there, but he's going to try and get it to the inside up into turn 19. Oh, watch out, boys. You don't want to come into contact there. And looks like he's tagged the rear end of Steele ever so slightly. He's got the position there, but it was a bit bold there from the Willow to try and get that move down into turn 19. It's such a fast corner. You're doing the entry speed is around 122 miles an hour, so you need to really make sure you've got your car planted if you're going to try and get past someone. But the Willow up into 4th position.
Yeah, hopefully it will be that one now. But I had a good evening to everyone. Richard, he says first corner was a bit messy. Some of that was down to me. Sorry, guys. It's all right, F1. Don't worry. I'll try and see if you can try and get back in F1, because you're still in 3rd place at the minute, and Willow might have a chance of catching up to F1 Richard, who, as you can see, just coming up to the corner before the DRS straight. But Steele's going to try everything. Notorious has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He is on the ultras now, so it's 10 seconds behind the boy Dan, who did leave the session earlier on in the race. But Steele doing everything possible to try to do a late braking move. He's got to be careful with those corners there, because he did get a penalty from that corner earlier on in the race. Sorry, Captain. I don't know what to say. Oh my God, Steele. He's like Agent WD click to click with a 66. Absolutely insane stuff here. Oh yeah, my God.
Steele really want to get back at the Willow after taking that position earlier in the lap. Oh, he's going to go wide and he's going to hit the wall. And it looks like that is the end of Steele's race. He lost it on the exit of turn 9, got all out of shape. Unfortunately, he speared the Sauber into the wall. And it's a really unfortunate ending for Steele BL there. He'll be absolutely gutted with that. He had a great opportunity to get in some good points, and he picked up a good result here in F3 last season. He was looking like he was on for another one, but that's really unfortunate for the Sauber driver, who ends up on the in the wall on the exit of turn 19.
Yeah, that was really a shame, because I think he was trying everything he can to get past as much as possible. Willow's gone wide there. It must have been when you try to get past F1 Richard in the fourth. I know F1 Richard is in the ghost car at the moment, but can't get back in. The Willows moved up to third on his debut race season of the Invictus Racing League F3 League. So that's fantastic stuff from him. Absolutely.
Yeah, he's done it. Yeah, superb stuff there. And we can't count out the guys at the top here. Dan and Bougie, look at the lead they've got on everyone else at the moment. Over 27 seconds they've got on the Willow 97 in third position at the moment. So Dan and Bougie in a class of their own today. But look at the Ferraris at the moment. You've got the Ferraris currently creeping up, 5th and 6th at the moment, and with F1 Richard possibly trying to get back into the session. We'll look to see if he can get back in. He's still circulating in 4th position, but it's going to promote Mike up into 4th position as he clips through the McLaren there, but he does make his way up. So Mike now, after a start towards the rear end of the grid, has found himself in 4th position with 6 laps left to go, and the Willow only 3 seconds up the road. So depending on penalties, Mike could find himself on the podium.
Yeah, it might be in the podium here, but well done to Mike. Fair play to him. He started off in 12th, finishing guaranteed at least 4th, depending on what penalties he has had as well. Be interesting stuff here. But Notorious has got the fastest lap of 1:35.5, so fantastic drive from him. But saying that though, Dan and Bougie showing what the F3, what the league's going to show off as on this league. Willow's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That, and I know Mike may not have a penalty, so this may be a chance if he can try and get within the 3 seconds. You might get into the podium.
Absolutely. If I was in Mike's position, I would be checking with Jeff at what the front of the car in front is doing and seeing what his penalties are like and what times he's doing, and seeing if I can get past as Fasco goes past the ghosted car of Richard. So Fasco moves up into 5th position. So you've got the Ferraris now both up into the top 5. You see Dan and Bougie at the top, and they really are showing you that there will be a place for the guys to aim at, because you can see just how far ahead they are and how well they've done. But equally, there's guys on the track that you can say considerable dark horses for some good points finishes today. We know that Notorious and O. Steven, both of them, they can finish high up. It's just getting that racecraft right and that consistency right. O. Steven has taken a podium in the past. In the last season of F1 2017, took a podium at Malaysia in the final race of the season. So he's got the pace to be up there. It's just making it stick all the way through the race itself. And equally, Notorious struggled to pick up points last season, did have a good result in Canada. So both of them are well enough capable to come away with top 5 results. It's just making sure they keep the car on the black stuff. Yeah, I hope they do, to be fair. And like I said, speaking of the devil, Notorious has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And that's a commentator's curse there, Captain, so I'm blaming you for that one. So, no, but I'm hoping Notorious will bounce back, because, as you said, he has had a struggling season last season. I said this earlier on in the stream as well, but I hope he will try and bounce back, because he is a former champion as well, and I don't want to see former champions, struggling. I want to see him competing. Same with all the guys here. I like to see how Steven battling out. I like to see everyone else battling out to the top. That's what everyone should be doing, if you know what I mean. But anything can happen on their day. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I said, the drivers in this league are incredibly talented. And also they have a lot of heart, and they really do put their all into these races. You see the guys practicing all through the week, and it's definitely obviously being slightly biased, being the league admin and also a long-time racer within the league. I do find the F3 league is probably one of the most fun and exciting races watch, because you just don't know who's going to win each race. It's so open, and there's often so much action going on. And talk about action, I think something is going to be heating up back at Maranello shortly, because Fascone is slowly starting to reel in Mike, and he's on the harder compounded tyres, so they will last longer. Mike's super softs will go off towards the end of the race, so Fascone possibly might start catching up to his Ferrari comparator. It does go wide there, so another bit of the commentator's curse again, once again. But he's lost a little bit of time, but he had got it down to 1.2. We'll see if he can start clawing that time back in. He's lost about 0.6 of a second there, but yeah, possibly a little bit of things heating up there. Does Fasco hold position and know that it's just pre-season, or does he go, you know what, I'm going to state my claim for #1 position at Ferrari and try and get the job done ahead of Mike?
Hopefully so, hopefully so. But saying that though, D-Boy Dan has returned back into his car because I could see him try and catch up to Fasconi in 5th place. So I don't know when he's returned back to his car, but hopefully he has. It looks like he has come back, probably because he did get past F1 Richard in the Ghost car as well. But Fasconi, like I said, will he get ahead of Mike this season? Well, I've proved it. I don't know. What was you going to say? Sorry, Captain.
No, I was going to say, well, obviously Fasconi did take a couple of pole positions and a race win in Hungary, I believe it was last season. So Fasconi, he's had a better season compared to Mike last season. So he's definitely had a lot more experience recently of picking up podiums and picking up wins. So he may have the slight mental edge over Mike. We know obviously Mike is one of the hardest and toughest guys to overtake and race with on the track. He's incredibly good at what he does, but he doesn't half make it hard for you to get past him. So he's not going to make it easy for his teammate, but it might be a pretty explosive partnership between the two of them.
Definitely. And saying that though, he is tough to beat, Mike, defensively wise, because I remember that during the no assists season this season, no, rather the season gone, and he was tough to beat. So anything could happen on their day, but it just depends what happens. But with Fasconi being ahead of Mike, I said before, he proves me wrong last season to say I don't think he might do well. I think it depending on how Mike does it this season, I think Fasconi might just be equal with Mike. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the next few races or this season coming. No, but I can't wait for it. Notorious has moved to 7th now, so coming up to, as we was talking about, we've got lap 26 or 28 of the Invictus Racing League F3 League. I can't believe the race has just gone flyby, to be honest. I don't know where it's gone. But yeah, I'm privileged and honoured for Captain Steve to join me tonight. Unfortunately, he would have carried on racing, unfortunately, because of the turn 3 accident in the first lap. But I am honoured and privileged for him to join me tonight. It helps me with my throat when I'm doing all the commentary stuff. Fasconi's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Like I said, Captain, sorry. What tracks are you looking forward to next season that will spark your season?
There's definitely, it's a very different calendar compared to last season, but it's very interesting. I've always enjoyed Bahrain. I think Bahrain's one of the tracks that can make a very interesting race. It's one of those ones where you have to really look after the tyres, but equally it's pretty open when it comes to overtaking. You can find yourself making moves all over the places. There's tracks like Italy. Obviously, we're finishing the season with at round 12, which would be another one which would be pretty fun to be at. It's a complete mixed bag. There's a lot going on the calendar that's very interesting compared to what we're seeing as Fasconi really looking like he's starting to struggle on these soft compounded tyres, but he had got within 0.6 of a second of Mike, but went deep into turn 1 at the start of last lap, and then you can see he's dropped right back to 2.2 seconds now, so possibly knowing that he's got quite a few penalties sitting underneath him, so possibly deciding to sit in 5th position for the rest of the race. But yeah, the calendar is definitely, it's like, obviously guys, if you haven't seen it, make sure you check out our website at invictusracingleagues.com. It's on the homepage right in front of you, about to see. But there are plenty of opportunities for decent races and decent results. But you know, I'd say which ones are and aren't my favourite. But I had a decent result in America last year, and it's one of my least favourites to drive on the calendar. So it really depends on how you're feeling on the day.
Oh, definitely. And you have to be like on the ball. And if you're in like a title challenge, you've got to make sure you're on the ball as well, because if you're not, you're absolutely going to be absolutely kicking yourself. And I'm hoping for the F3 League, we're going right down to the wire again with the title challenges. Don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like with so many drivers that look like they can take race victories over the season, it would be it will be one of those championships where you just can't make your mind up about who's going to take it. But I think one thing we can be sure of tonight is it's looking like, obviously I don't want to curse it, but it's looking like Ferocious Dan who's going to take the race victory. He started his last lap. He's now entering turn 4 and 5 into the complex. Now Dan's just going to be sitting there. He took the race victory at round 12 last season, so he's actually going to start off the way he finished with a victory. So Dan taking his debut win in Brazil last season. He's going to start off this season with a win in America, so possibly liking this side of the world. He's coming down towards turn 11 now for the final time. The McLaren's got a 9-second lead over Bougie 89 in second place. Bougie just couldn't quite keep up with him in this second stint. They had a great battle in the first stint, but he's dropped well back in the second stint. But look at that gap back to the Willow 97 and to Mike, who's within 3 seconds of Willow. So it'll be interesting to see now if Mike gets onto the podium using penalties. I don't believe he's had as many as the Willow, but we will see. It'd be nice for the Willow on his debut, especially after taking that pole position, if he can get on the podium. But obviously, clean driver always gets the better result. But Ferocious Dan coming around the final few corners, and I'll let you see him across the line, Malc.
Oh, thank you very much, Captain. And he's coming up to the final few corners on turns 19 and 20. He'll be absolutely delighted. And I'll tell you what, hopefully this will be the bounce of his start of possibly his drivers. So well done to Ferocious Dan for winning the USA Grand Prix for the pre-season race. And well done to Bougie for second place. So these two, even though there was a little bit of gap between themselves, I think these two might be ding-dong battle for the drivers this season, based on what I've seen tonight. And I know you can't predict it after one race, Captain, but looking at it, if they could keep that momentum going, I wouldn't be surprised if they go for the drivers title this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two looking very strong. The Willow's going to come across the line third on track, but we'll look to see, does he maintain that position, or is it Mike who's going to move up onto the podium? It is the Willow who takes a debut podium. So the Willow 97 takes it by just over 1/10 of a second. So Mike will be kicking himself that he didn't push ever so slightly harder on that final lap. But the Willow will be absolutely delighted to take a debut podium, having had that early spin, having to come in for a new front wing. He's recovered all the way back to third position. So talk about Ferocious Dan and Bougie being the runaway winners. The Willow's had an accident, come out, had a pit stop, put a new wing on. He's come up and he's got himself onto a podium. So the Willow, fantastic job from him tonight.
Oh, definitely. On his debut race, on his debut season, I'll take that easily. So he was unfortunate with a lot of the accident and stuff, but he's come back stronger and he's trying to do everything possible, and he's done that with ease. So well done to the Willow for his podium place. Mike would be absolutely gutted not to get the podium, but I would say that's a strong drive from him tonight, to be fair. From 12th to 4th, I would take that easily.
Yeah, superb race from Mike tonight. Just checking in with Notorious as he crossed the line with no front wing at all. So Notorious possibly trying to get the smallest amount of drag on that car possible. Probably didn't do too nicely around the corners, but it would have been incredibly fast down the back straight. But unfortunately for the Irish driver, it's not the end that he was looking for.
No, hopefully. Like I said, I'm hoping he'll bounce back and stuff. But like I said, I'd rather have the mistakes done in pre-season compared to the actual the season, because no one remembers pre-season. They always remember who wins at the actual season races. That's what they all count for anyway. And this season will be different ones. This is the race classification for the F3 League, for the Invictus Racing Leagues. We've got Ferocious Dan first, Bougie second, Willow third, Mike fourth, Frasconi fifth, Deboydan in 6th, F1 Richard 7th, O'Stephen 8th, Notorious 9th, White Eagle 10th, Steele in 11th, and Captain Steve join me in the commentary box within 12th place. I'm going to try and go back to the incidents quickly. I know not, but we have to try and record them as quickly as possible before we do that. and trying to get that in quick. Um, but yeah, I'd like to say a big, massive, massive thank you to Captain Sid for joining me tonight. Unfortunately, he didn't want to be in this position at this point in time because of he wanted to carry on with the racing, but because of what happened earlier on in the race, I've invited him in, and it was a pleasure as always for him, and hopefully we'll do more commentary box in the near future as well.
Well, hopefully not in F3, but
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, but you know what I mean, don't you? Uh,
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a pleasure to be back in the box with you, Malk. It's always great commentating with you. Obviously, not under the best circumstances, but we move on to Hungary next week, and obviously I'll be looking for a positive result.
Definitely. After second lap. That's the main option on that one. But like I said, again, thank you very much, Captain, for joining me tonight and helping me with my throat to try and clear the throats and stuff. But like I said, guys, thank you very much for watching the stream. And again, as always, thank you very much. And always, 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 always remember, stay classy. Right, see you later, guys. I'll see you all next week at the glorious race of Hungary. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.